Hello and welcome to our video series which sees me, creative head editor Amanda Nottage, chatting to Wella creatives from across the industry. I'm going to be delving into their career paths, their inspirations, their workspaces and anything else that pops up along the way. Joining me today is founder of Sarah Mason Professional, a long-standing member of the Wella Irish Style Council and a Wella Passionista. It's Sarah Mason herself. Hello.
Hello.
Lovely to have you.
Oh, it's fabulous
in my latest gorgeously decorated room. This is a tour through my house, I feel like, with these conversations. I want to ask you, Miss Sarah Mason, how did you first find out that hair was for you? It was your vocation. It was what you were born to do.
Hairdressing really was at my fingertips from a very small age.
Right.
At the age of 6, I was braiding hair and doing ponytails and buns for local ballet schools.
Yeah.
And actually charging for it, believe it or not.
Good woman.
Yeah, I know, it was a bit crazy. I think my mum and dad used to freak out a little bit.
Charged?
Yeah, £5. At the time we were still in Punt in Ireland.
Okay, yeah.
So it was £5, yeah. And I had this little basket that I'd go along with all my bits and bobs that I had bought in the local pharmacy. And I'd go along and do hair for First Communion and for confirmations. And my parents just knew, this is where this girl is going. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
How did you then go and become Sarah Mason Professional? You know, how did you build that career? What steps, what challenges did you face?
Well, I suppose I was very lucky. My parents took me out of school at 15.
Okay.
Because they recognised they were slapped on the wrist from it, but yeah, the family went mad. They were like, what are they doing? Because it was, you just didn't take your kids out of school back then. But my parents were liberal and they could see that this is all I ever wanted. And I went and I trained in Dublin City.
Okay.
But education, I was visiting the Wella studio at 16, going for courses, colour keys, and there was whatever they were called. God, I can't even remember what they were called.
Probably changed name three times
God,
since.
I can't even remember what they were called. Actually, it's funny. Claire Hunter actually was the educator, who we still see in the London studio, and she gave me an awful lot of education at a very young age, and I really was very grateful to her. And I lost touch with her. When she moved back, I was like, where did that educator go? And I met her then later when I started my transition journey. But it was, I suppose education was everything, because without education, I really don't think I'd be, without my passion and my core beliefs and believing that I could do things. I lose sleep over my passion sometimes. It definitely comes between me and my sleep. But of how I'm going to move on to the next level and how, what do I want next? Yeah. I have a bucket list, but I'm not going to get into that today.
Okay. Okay. Well, talking about things that you do.
Yeah.
So you've been a long-standing member of the Wella Irish Style Council.
Yeah.
You are a Wella Passionista. I love that term. Fantastic opportunities.
Yeah. What
do they bring? What have you enjoyed most about those opportunities from Wella?
It's fantastic. It's phenomenal, actually, that we have the Style Council in Ireland, because we have grown as a team. Years ago, we were like separate entities, and now we've just merged as a team, and we have so much fun. I call them my Style Council buddies, and I love my days at the Style Council. We do a collaboration every year. We do a collection, and then we bring it to stage for Tranvision, and that's fun because it's nice for us to get out on stage and especially in our home ground. It's nice for people to see, other hairdressers to see what we're at and what we're doing. The Passionistas is the funnest, the absolute funnest. I've been here twice with them, different launches with the Passionistas, and I have had so much fun. It's a super platform for someone like me and up and coming hairdressers to have a little bit of fun, to see your work being showcased around the global channels. For us to be pushing it forward, for obviously our guests and for our, educationally, it's super.
Brilliant. I'm going to ask you, what do you need around you, your workspace, in the salon, to get creative, to find inspiration?
It's funny, sometimes when I'm educating even, other people, My space is a place that I actually like to have space on my own sometimes,
Okay.
where I just want everyone to leave me alone. Yeah, I need to put on a soundtrack that I'm gonna, enjoy.
Okay.
And sometimes it's a face in the chair where,
Right.
I pull up her hair and go, okay, wow, there's something special going on here, and now I need everyone just to stay away from me for me to allow the magic to happen. I think when I'm planning things, obviously for me it's about planning with the team and stuff like that. But my environment for me, even in my salon, I like a nice environment. We've lovely green trees outside, and I think your space is very, very important for where you're working, to have clarity,
Yep.
to be able to work well.
So we've talked about the space. If you could assemble your dream team, and I'm talking anybody, who would you have working with you?
Oh, you know what? It's something I actually think about quite a lot. I think really now, since I've opened business, I think for me at this point in my career, it's for me about building my own dream team.
Okay.
And that they are there to support me, and that I can kind of rear them to follow my footsteps. And that everything follows suit, so that when things happen,
Right.
that it happens in unison.
Okay.
There's no chaos. I suppose, obviously, I've worked with some amazing people, and I mean, I would rather be a part of their dream team sometimes, because, I mean...
Share some names, come on.
Oh, Eugene Solomon.
Well, I was going to ask you about
Right.
Eugene in a minute.
Oh, look, and you know what? Another one of my favourites is Darren Ambrose. He's
yep.
inspired me really right through my career.
Okay.
And he knows that I drive him crazy, I think. I just think he's always hot off the pod. I think every time he delivers, it's always amazing. And I've been watching him for years.
Right.
He did come to Ireland Television years ago, and from that day, I was kind of going, okay, I want to watch him. But Eugene also, I mean...
Well, you've actually assisted Eugene backstage at Fashion Week. What's that like?
He blows me away. I just
Right.
think for someone that's so calm and collected, and how he works, his approach to hair is just beautiful. How he touches hair is beautiful. And I think as an artist myself, my respect for hair is I don't want to hear hair being torn. I want to
Right.
hear it being brushed.
Yep.
So I can relate to that. So when I see him putting hands on hair, I just think he's incredible. Working backstage at Fashion Week for me was really the dream.
Yeah.
To be able to work with someone like Eugene, and to be able to create some hair and know that it was good enough to go out there. It's been a real learning curve, and it's nice to be still learning. After all these years, it's super. He pulls it out of the bag every single time. And sometimes it may be very simplistic work, but it's just very beautiful. The finish on it, there's not a blade of hair out of place, and it's final, and there's high sheen, or very couture look, and he just has it. It's beautiful.
And what would you say you've learnt most from being backstage, working with him, with his team, in that, 'cause it's quite a stressful environment?
I think going backstage worried me because I'm a bit of a control freak, actually.
Really,
Yeah,
Sarah?
I am
Okay.
a bit of a control freak. And I actually paired up with Darren Lacken, and Darren's a great pal of mine. So we worked well together. So we were able to work by splitting the head in half, let's say. But to me, that's like the fear. It's like, no, I'm so used to, I want that head, to myself.
Yep.
So at the learning curve of having to work with someone else,
Okay.
for me, I thought was a great task, that you're working really strongly as a team. Where I think people think working as a team is separate bodies in a building, where this is, all hands are on deck.
Yeah.
So it's a different learning curve, but it's super fun.
You have the most incredible career when it comes to competition work. Now, I want to know, what is it about doing all of those competitions that really gets you going, that you love? And I wonder if it is the buzz, or is it that you're just really, really, really competitive?
It's both.
Okay.
I'm very competitive, and I think that side of me is starting to relax a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm trying to rear my own team. We had huge success last year. So I'm trying to really rear my own team into that competitive buzz. I think I just always wanted to get to the next level,
Right.
and I wanted my career to be big. I just didn't want to be known as Sarah that's down working in the salon cutting hair. I wanted more, and I wanted a big career. So I really felt that I had to push myself for any opportunities that were there. I started competing in 2006, and I was very lucky. I did put a lot of work and a lot of research into it, and I had success from day one. So I mean, I've had a lot of success there. The buzz of trying to plan something like that and getting beautiful faces. I've had wonderful models over the years. Trem Vision, I mean, my model there, she's like a whole story for herself. She's brought me such success.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
lucky charm.
Yeah, she was like my. That's actually what we used to call her, was the lucky charm, because every time she went to something, she won. But she, we grew a great relationship, and that was the nice thing also, is that you grew a relationship with somebody like that let you do whatever you wanted.
Right.
So that end of it, you know, of being able to be so creative and have no boundaries, no limits, for me is what really got kind of the creative juices kind of flowing for me and gave me that buzz.
Now, on the subject of competitions still, I've heard some complaints recently that young people are actually getting too scared to enter competitions, that they don't have the self-confidence, they're worried their final image isn't going to be good enough to go on Instagram, let alone be entered into a competition. As somebody who is a competition veteran, what would you say to them to convince them to get involved, to take that first step? Because it must be scary.
It is scary, and I think sometimes they just don't know where to start.
Okay.
I really feel that it's vital that the salon gets involved, you know, and that the employer gets involved, and that they push that person, because I think in every salon there's one shining star, if not more, right? But there's always one that just wants more. And I think when you have someone like that, you have to nurture them, because that's where you can evolve some small girl that has no confidence into something major. Helping them research, you know, opening their eyes. I think that this world that they're living in at the minute is scary. You know, I have young children, so I know that it's going to be ahead of them too. It is a little bit scary and it's a bit daunting. But yeah, what I'm going to say is just do it.
Right.
Just do it, because you know you can't win it all, right? I've always said to people that have entered anything, you're a winner anyway. You went out, you put your work out there, you know, do your research, get a few little models in that you can have a look at, get someone in off the street. It doesn't have to be a professional, and start at the bottom. I know, I think sometimes with the younger crew, they don't realise I swept the floor, I made the tea and coffee. I started exactly where they started. Right. And there's no reason they can't have the Sarah Mason or the Darren Ambrose or the Jason Gray, or that life is ahead of them. And I really feel that it's up to us in our industry at this point to push that forward and to really help them to kind of grow our new generation of hairdressers.
And that new generation of hairdressers, I know you've got a particular vision that's going to happen. You've looked into your crystal ball. What do you foresee, Madame Sarah?
Madame Sarah, I believe that the new generation of hairdressers are going to be so rare that if they're good, they'll be millionaires, because they'll be able to charge whatever they want. I think unlike us that are, like I'm still running a full column doing 12 clients a day, which is crazy. I don't think they'll have to do that. Okay. And I think that they need to look at that and say, okay, if I really put my head down and if I really work hard and if I kind of nurture my craft, that then if they're very good, that they will be superheroes. I mean, there's no reason why they won't be. Incredible. It's a rarity though, there's definitely less of them. It's a worry. Yeah. I know in Ireland we're having awful problems. I know it's the same in the UK. Absolutely. It's a global issue really. And it's not just in our industry, it's in a lot of industries. But they're not all for college. I just don't know why they're not coming into our industry. It's so fun, guys. You know, absolutely. It's so fun.
You have so much fun.
Oh my God, I have so much fun. I'm having more fun now than I had 20 years ago.
And on that note, I would like to say to you a huge thank you, Sarah Mason, for your time today.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.